Alright, let's talk about integer break. So you are given integer and break it into the sum of k positive integers. So for k greater or equal to 2 and maximize the product of integer. So return the maximum product. So basically this is supposed to be easy, but it is actually really difficult to code. So imagine you have what? You have 4, right? So you're gonna have what? 4 equal to 1 plus 3, or what? 2 plus 2, right? Or 3 plus 1, right? But 3 plus 1 and 1 plus 3 are the same, so I'm gonna just get rid of this. So the product of 1 plus 3 is what? 1 times 3, right? It's actually 3. And this is 2 times 2, right? This is 4, right? So the maximum for the integer 4 is actually what? 4, right? But 2 is actually what? 1 plus 1, right? This is 1 times 1, this is 1. Okay, so you cannot have 2 plus 0, because every single value, it has to be what? Greater than 0. I mean, it has to be positive, sorry. It has to be positive, so 0 doesn't work. And again, try out another one. For the base case, 3 equal to what? It's either 1 plus 2 or 2 plus 1, right? And everything, this is supposed to be the same, right? So this is going to be a 1 times 2, right? So 1 times 2, this is actually equal to what? 2, right? So for 2 and 3, they are base case, so it's either 1 or 2. And for the 4 or above, they are actually depends. And this is going to be pretty much it, right? So I'm just talk about the base case. So here's the idea. Again, I'm going to draw again. So if I have what? If I have 6, so 6 can be what? So I can break it into what? 6 minus 1 is 5. 6 minus 2 is what? Is 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So I minus 1 over here. I minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, right? And then I will have to know like how many possible value I can have, right? This is what? This is 1 comma 5, right? So you can say 1 plus 5, right? Or this is what? And this one you can break it into what? 4, 3, 2, 1, right? This one you can break it into what? 3, 2, 1. This one you can break it into 2, 1, right? And this one you can break it into 1. So again, this is actually this looks like what? 4 plus 2, right? And this what? 3 plus 3. But in this 3 you can break it into 2 plus 1. And then this is what? 6 plus 4, right? But for the 4 you can break it into what? 3 plus 1, 2 plus 2, something like this, right? And again, the 1 should be base case, so I mean you don't have to worry about 1, right? And again, so this is a big problem. So it looks like you have a difficult stuff, but once you have a base case for every single value, and then you will just breathe out, like you will just go bottom up, and then you'll solve every single scenario. So let me start coding, and then you will be able to just follow along, okay? So in this case, I can use what? I can use without a map, but you will get TLE. TLE represent time limit. Time limit exists, right? So something like this. I don't know. So I'm gonna just put it into the hash map. Integer. I'm gonna put a map, and I'm gonna initialize to the new hash map, right? And then I need to know the base case. So if n equal to 2 or n equal to 3, this is what? Return a minus 1, right? This is the base case, right? And then I'm going to just set the default value for the map is 1, 1. And then I will have to return the helper function. I'm going to call DFS, and this is what? This is the type in function. So DFS in num. So here's a recursion solution. So if num is actually equal to 0, you will just have to return 1 for the base case. And then if you already put it into the map, right, then you can actually say if meta get is not equal to none, then you will just return meta get. So don't try to use map.contains key, because there should be a Stack Overflow scenario, right? And then I'm going to just create a val. I'm going to just say minimum value for now, and then I'm going to traverse every single possible value. So for example, if you have 4, right? So this is going to be what? 1 plus 3, or this is 2 plus 2, right? And I'm going to just traverse 1 times 3, and this 3 is going to be a recursion solution. This is going to be what? 1 plus 2, so I have to find out the recursion answer for this one. So I will just keep updating my current maximum value, and based on just based on this label, right? So I'm going to find out the maximum value for this label, but in this label I need to find out what is the maximum value in this label, right? So just turn out the minus solution. So I'm going to use a for loop. So you have to start it from I equal to 1. This is because the positive integer, right? 0 is not a positive number. And this is I less than equal to none, and then I plus plus, right? So I'm going to use the temp, just create a temporary variable for local. So I times DFS num minus I, right? So I will just subtract by a value, and then and using the multiplication stuff to find out the maximum. So now I have a value equal to what? Max temp comma val, right? And then later on I will find out what? My current num for the maximum value for the product, right? And I will just return val. And this is pretty much the idea, and then let me submit. So this is n squared. So why is n squared? You do have to traverse like n times for yourself, right? And then hold on, sorry. So 6. So you have 5, right? 4, and then 3, something 2, and this one you will have to traverse 4, 3, 2, and then so on, right? So 6. And you traverse n time, and then 5 you traverse n minus 1 time, so this is n squared time for the time. And for the space you're using hash map all of n, right? So this is memorization DFS. Now let's talk about a DP solution. So again, if you know the content, like if you know the idea, right? There we can actually store the value for what? For the value that we already know, right? So just for example, if I have a DP, so which means I have a table, and again, right? This is 0, 1, 2, and then so on to n, right? And then again, by default value, 2 is actually a 1, and others is actually 0. Now using this idea, the 1 value, so 2 equal to 1 plus 1, right? 1 plus 1 equal to 1, right? So I'm using this 1 to actually generate the possible value for what? For the rest of the integer. So how do you actually do this? Give me one more second. So for the 4, right? You can say 1 times 1 plus 3, right? Is equal to 1 times 3 for the return value, and this is 2 plus 2, and this is going to become 2 times 2, right? So you want to find out what? You want to find out like I times what? 4 minus I, right? And then I will go from where? This is I, this is I, and this is J, right? This is J, right? So the sum of I plus J is actually equal to 4, right? 1 plus 3, 2 plus 2, right? And then you just have to make sure like when you do the multiplication, if there is a sub maximum value when you go DFS, right? When you go DFS, there should be a value. Imagine 10, right? Like 2 times 8, and then 4 times 6, right? And then 8 is current value for 8, but how about you break it down to 7, 6, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, and there is a value which is greater than 8. So which means the possible maximum product is not 8, is one of the value underneath it, right? So you have to say it's either 8, comma, the DP value you store inside just at I minus j index, right? Alright, so let me restart it. So again, I'm going to create a dp equal to new int, and the size is going to be n+1. This is because I want to just put the index 0, right? And then the default value for the dp is dp2 equal to 1. For int I equal to 3, since we already know, since we're starting 2, right? And then we don't need to traverse 2 again, so we're starting 3. And then we have to say I less than equal to n, and then I plus plus. So we have to traverse until n equal to 2, right? So this is how it is. So for int j equal to what? J starting from 1 is positive number, right? And then j less than I minus 1, j plus plus. And this is pretty much it, right? So I can update my dp. Now update my dp based on what? Based on my dpi and math.max j times what? Okay, I made a mistake. So you can say math.max j times what? The I minus j or comma j times dpi minus j, right? This is it, right? And if you notice, they have j inside the math.max. You can pull this j out, but I'm not doing this right now. I'm just on my solution. Give me one more second. So here's it. Oh, I made a typo. And yes. So let me submit first, and then okay. Now I need to pull out my j, since they have what? They have a common constant. J times, and then submit. Alright, so this is pretty much it. This is shorter, but this is actually really difficult to notice, because you probably cannot solve this question during an interview unless you see this question before. Alright, so for the time and space, this is going to be n squared for time, right? All of n, and you traverse to I minus 1, so it's still going to be n squared. For the time, this is definitely all of n, right? And this is a solution, and I know this is a little bit difficult, and I can't solve it in once like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, so I have to come back to check again the question and to practice about my DP and DFS. And I will talk to you later, so if you feel helpful, subscribe, like, and I will see you later. Bye.